It was 1977 in Moraine State Park in Pennsylvania. We were at the National Scout Jamboree. So the Boy Scouts have an annual jamboree, and it's an opportunity to get together. Actually, I believe it was every 4 years, but it had a National Scout Jamboree, and it was my first opportunity to meet scouts from not only the U.S., but across the world. We got together, and lo and behold, trading, talking stories, getting to know their story, getting to know who they are. And each evening there was an opportunity to get together in community to listen to a story. In fact, they found a camper in the Scouts who was named Charlie Brown, another one that was named Linus, and even they dug up Snoopy, and we had great fun. But what was that around? It was around the fire, the burning fire. It was shooting out. It was a large fire. It was shooting out sparks all over. So we're going to talk about what that sparks talks to as we go through just a few minutes here on as we explore what can we do this week to start to really affect the week, to make it burn even hotter. Welcome, Lisa. Glad you can make it. I guess you're not watching NFL. There were so many things in the articles this as the week progressed. The people are going to shut off the NFL from their watching forevermore. We'll see how long that lasts. But I thought today would be a good way to talk about what do we do to start building up that ember for the week. And the spark goes a little bit further, because you can have the ember, but what happens with a bonfire? You get sparks off of it, or off the ember itself. If it gets a little air building up within it, it shoots off a little burning ember and it takes it skyward. And I'm thinking, as we talk about apex and about getting to your apex, it's just like what we do. We have this burning ember within us. We have this thing that we call a purpose. We have a passion. And we work during the week, if we are aligned with it, of wanting to have it come to fruition, to come to our fulfillment. And we talked about this in the last couple episodes about getting to the fulfillment, to really see what it is that we can do to look at our why, look at what we're burning into, what we are burning to do, what we're called to do, what we find purpose in our life, what we find meaning. Well, if we stoke it with fire and all the wood and get that fire going, we start building up the heat. And if you pour water over a fire, you just get that wood has still got the fire within it. It still has that burning ember. I think that's what we end up during the week, is that we end up putting some water over it, maybe mud, whatever, and we dampen down our ember. But we still walk with that ember within us. And we need to spark up. We need to really bring that back out. And this is a good day to do that. Today we focus on, some may have some religious services that you go to spark up your faith. You may also walk in and do something else. Maybe football will spark you up for the week because that gets you going. But that conversation is only going to go so far with your friends at work, around the water cooler. It doesn't really solve anything. But if you walk with a spark, I'm telling you, you will see a difference. And I saw this, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to quickly cover what spark means to me. And I hope you'll see some similarities in your life and what you see about taking that burning ember. If you walk and through a fire area, you'll get some embers on you. And then they'll get that oxygen and spark off and startle you. So you create a ripple right away because you get a little startle every time you see a spark. And others will see that. So if you walk with a spark, you're going to create an upward movement. You're going to create awareness. You're going to create joy. Joy breaks down to spark in this way. S is really for service. If you're service focused, if you like to, Lisa says, I stoke my fire for the week more than a spark. Yeah, absolutely. But a spark is what you emit off from your ember. So you're touching each person as you go by and giving them a little bit more to fire, light their fire. So in service, by doing service, by being service focused, what does that mean? Putting people's needs for safety, for the basic provisions of getting them focused on where they're at instead of having to deal with the things outside that they may bring in, the family health, the children that didn't sleep through the night, the dog that just kept howling at everything going by and keeping them awake, or maybe they're just restless because they're trying to walk through something in their life, a tragedy, or maybe it's a disappointment in their life and they're trying to deal with it and they don't sleep well, or they come into work with an attitude that isn't really focused on the purpose of the organization or their purpose. And we're going to talk about that on Monday, tomorrow, on this why, but I wanted to take this break away from that nested purpose, but focus in on this one part of it, and that's to create fire, create embers, create sparks in someone else this week. So as we go through it, we say service. Okay, so service others, help them reach their needs. It's been said that if you do that, in turn, you'll see your needs met. You'll get your fulfillment. You're working in your purpose and your alignment with that purpose. You're serving others. You're thinking about others, and you're going to receive in return, because you're going to find fulfillment in helping others get to that next level. Now, P is presence. You can just walk down through a group of people and say, hi, 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 but you're not present. You're thinking about something else. You're just saying hi just to recognize them, but you're not stopping and talking to them, talking with them, talking to find out how they are doing, what's important in their life. So do you have presence? Do you have service? Do you have presence? Do you have presence of mind to say, I have a million things in my mind, as people would say. I have a million things going on. But do you take the time to stop and focus on the person in front of you? And no, I'm not saying flip them off. That's not the right presence of mind. Or scream, and cursing and other things that take away from the presence of the moment. The presence of the moment should be uplifting, should be both a safe ground for each of you in this conversation, or if there's more people in your conversation at the moment, then all of them, are you present with all of them, and are they present with you? Are you lifting each other up to a higher conversation, to a intense movement of kindred spirits, of emotional ties, of lifting each other to a different thought plane? So presence is point 2. Third is awareness, or action with an intent. So if you have awareness of what your purpose is and how you're going to help people, are you thinking into what you could actually do for that person? So if you have a service attitude, service perspective, and you're focused in the present, are you thinking into, John, I know John's struggling with something. I just saw an article that I think would help John, to look at it and for us to talk through, to perhaps get John through whatever crisis he's facing. So if your awareness and if you take action with that intention, you're going to go farther. You're going to have that spark relay into John in this case. I know from my times that if I'm able to help somebody, if I just think about it, I'm not going to help them. I'm going to think about it. That's action, but it's not intent. There's no additional action beyond the thought itself. So what are you going to do tomorrow? Are you going to call maybe somebody tonight to say, hey, John's really struggling tomorrow. I know he's going through a major issue and we need to help him. Can you do something? Would you be able to help talk with him? I'll be there, but I think your perspective would help John in a huge way. So awareness. And then R has this split view of resource, of being fully resourced, of knowing your skills, knowing your talents. But that's not enough. Again, that's what's within you, but you need to put it out. So how do you deploy those resources? How do you talk into somebody and give them a piece of you, of helping them, again, get that spark going, get that ember really queued up, because they may not have that flame starter. They may not have that opportunity. They may be feeling empty inside, and your spark is going to light them up. Much like in the old days of putting a match into a furnace to hit the pilot light so that the water can start, or air, whatever means that you have for generating heat from the furnace, that it gets started. Maybe woods, you're going to throw a match in. So this is the same way that you're going to help people this week. So be respectable and respectful. So not only bring resources, but also help that person feel whole, feel that they're valued, that they may be going through something, but you care about them. Treat them, just because they may be, not as well educated, or maybe they're better educated and you feel this jealousy towards them because they were given the silver spoon, so to say. Maybe not. They're a person. Respect them for who they are. Respect them for what they're going through, and help them understand what that really means. And then kinetic. So we had service, we had awareness or action. Oh, sorry. Service, presence, action with intent or awareness and awareness, resourcefulness, respectability, respect for others, but also kinetic. So the spark won't go anywhere unless it has action, unless it has motion, and the motion of actually walking with somebody. So walking with a spark is really the kinetic part. It's not only just saying, well, this week I'm going to just go in with a different attitude. I'm going to serve people. But are you going to? Are you going to walk through the people? Are you going to walk with the people? Or are you just going to phone it in? So the kinetic part of embers, a part of what we need to think about this week, is really the fact that spark is something that's carried forward. And it's not only just from you to somebody else, but your spark's going to light somebody else up who's going to light up another person. So there's going to be this ripple effect. There's this continued motion beyond oneself. That's what we need to focus on. So as we lift our cup for our favorite team this week, maybe we're watching this on recording or sharing this with somebody else, take a moment to spark them and lift them to a higher point. Thank you, Lisa, for all the comments. I'm glad you're keeping track of them, because I got lost on what I was trying to say. But when you look at spark, you lead to fulfillment, you lead to joy. And that's the important part today. Walk with joy, walk with a spark, make it ignite. Make it just explode with joy. Wherever you go, even if it's to the grocery store, spark somebody else up. Make it a sparky week. Or I think there was some TV show with Sparky Cola, but we won't go there. Just make it a sparky week. Make it a spark. And we'll talk more about aligning your why with your organization's why. And it could be your department, and then your organization, the community, with the world why. Why are we here? And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. So please join me. And again, thank you for listening to this live or recording, passing by. Thank you, Lisa, again for all the comments. They're wonderful. They're, what really we need to talk about. So I like that. Your actions spread to others, ignite joy in others. Yes, that's what your assignment is for today, to think into this week and how you can make a spark in your life that affects others, who affect others, who affect others, and will change this world around to be moving upward to the apex, to your apex, to their apex, to look beyond, because we know that we can't look at the mountain in front of us, the rocks in front of us. We need to get past the rocks. We need to get to the top so we can look beyond and see something else that is waiting for us to get to, because it's there. It's been granted to us to see, to experience, and to bring joy. Have a great day, great Sunday. Thank you for walking with me, and let's spark it up. Talk soon.